Welcome to the ISB show. I'm your host, Sahil, here with Ishana. Another day of the She Believes Cup, match day 2, one which the U.S. women's national team got it done, Ishana, but a lot of questions asked against Australia. In the end, U.S. women's national team does win, make it through to the final. It set up a very fascinating final match of the She Believes Cup, which will be for all the marbles, as they like to say. But let's talk about this match for all you U.S. women's national team fans. If you've been enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. All right, Ishana, let's get into it. Overall thoughts.
Overall, I would say it was a pretty average performance by our squad. Obviously, there were a lot of debuts, a lot of young players who haven't played with each other before, so we're going to take that into consideration. But to be honest, I think we're lucky that we ended up walking away with a win and not a draw.
Yeah.
Lots to just talk about.
Yeah, things start off pretty well, right? Lynn Biyendolo getting the goal. It's funny we have to say Lynn Biyendolo.
I know. However, I should point out, I think she was probably offsides. It's a little strange that they don't have VAR for this tournament. I understand that's like a friendly tournament, but I still find it kind of strange. But I don't know about that one. It was like very tight there.
It was very tight. Yeah, it was a very tight situation. In the end, the U.S. does get the goal. And then it was interesting, Ishana, because then I think Australia kind of clawed their way back in the second half of the first half. And that's when I found a little bit, it felt like the U.S. was a little bit shaky at that point in time.
Yeah, I mean, credit to their keeper as well. Like, we're used to seeing Arnold out there, but I thought she had some solid saves, and they definitely picked it up during that time. I feel like the issue with us was definitely our back line. I mean, there was a couple she messed up, but the communication wasn't that solid. It was nice to have, Tierna Davidson back. I'm obviously a huge fan of Crystal Dunn. However, her minutes had to be monitored. But I think that combined with also just not generating enough in the midfield definitely hurt us a little bit. We got to see Claire Hutton play, who I thought played okay. But as a whole, it just kind of reinforces how different we look without our starters. And I should say, I am such a big fan of Lynn Biyendolo, formerly Williams. I think she plays super scrappy. I think she's fun to watch. She gets little touches in. She's very sneaky, super fast. However, she is not a technically skilled player in comparison to someone who like Kat Macario playing up at the 9. And, I think that shows. And even we'll talk about Ali Sentner later, but, the amount she can do, the passes, her footwork, it's a big difference. And, I thought Jaden Shaw had a good game. However, I need her to release the ball a little bit earlier. It would be my one thing with her.
100%. I think she had a good game, but that's, I think, the one pitfall a little bit where she needs to release that ball faster. Okay, second half, same thing. Australia, I thought, came out very strong. And then there was a key substitution, Ishana, which you were alluding to, which I think Emma Hayes made. And it's this phenomenon, Ali Sentner.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Ali Sentner 1, and then 2, when you brought Coffee in, it was just such a difference. And the thing about Ali Sentner is she looks like she's playing with the squad for a long time, and she plays with a lot of confidence. I kind of felt like, and we've talked about this before, but I feel like Corbin Albert, for example, she kind of started off in that role of major risk taking, and obviously she had that lovely goal in the Olympics against Australia. But I do think she just takes less risks now, and she doesn't play with as much confidence. Versus Sentner, it seems like she's battling for that spot. She wants to be a starter, and obviously we don't have triple espresso here in this equation, but I think to me Sentner she has secured her place as occupying some role in the squad in
100%,
the 18.
100%. And she sets up the second goal to Michelle Cooper. Good goal by Cooper there in her debut tournament.
Good
But
goal, and I
yeah,
will say that was the one thing Claire Hutton fed the ball nicely to Setner in the very beginning.
yeah.
So yeah, there was that. It was a good goal from Cooper. However, I don't feel super strongly about her being a huge standout, but very happy for her, obviously, to get that goal. Super exciting. Something else that was exciting for me was seeing the Thompson sisters.
Yeah, together
Yeah,
playing,
it's like a bit of like a Hazard brother situation going
Yeah,
on.
Alyssa Thompson, we've obviously, being Angel City fans, we've seen her regularly. And the thing about her is sometimes, she's so much talent. And then sometimes she has games like this where it's a little bit of a quieter game by, Alyssa Thompson. I thought Giselle was much more active than Alyssa in this match.
I agree. I think Alyssa had that one shot that I think normally she has really quality shots. She could have sunk that. But I think Giselle could be a good sub for Emily Fox, actually. I kind of like that substitution. But I think you can kind of just compare like a player like Foxy has it just comes with the experience of playing. I mean, she's played so much for the US women. And the thing about her is when I'm not used to seeing her sub on, and when she first came on, she made a mistake, but she recovers very, very well. And I think that is something that comes along with just sheer experience. So yeah, but I mean, I gotta say the back line though looked a little shaky.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the match, when you think it's a game that's done and we can all go home and start thinking about the Japan match, then they allow a goal at the end, make things very dicey for the last 10 minutes or so. Um, I don't know. Do you think that was a cause of concern or just a one-off incident that Australia got there?
I mean, that again, that might have been a an error from Foxy, just not marking. But I think there was just some confusion in the back, and so and one thing though I want to say credit to Mandy McGlynn, who it's unfortunate because Jane Campbell just didn't get any opportunity to showcase what she could do in
Yeah.
the first game, but McGlynn definitely did, and I thought she played really well. But that is probably one of the most frustrating things I think as a player when you're vying for a spot, even just like me from high school sports, is when you don't get an adequate opportunity to try out. It can be really frustrating. So I'll be curious to know who Emma Hayes starts in the final game.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You bring up that point. Let's talk about the final game now because Japan beat Colombia 4-1. They beat Australia 4-0. Japan is just dominating in terms of this tournament. And now this sets up the game against Japan where the US women have to go and beat Japan. So I got to think Emma Hayes has got to start like all the top players. Like it's got to be the A lineup, right, at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely need to start Foxy and Night Swanger. Just with Tanaka has just been a beast this tournament, and I think she's gonna be obviously. We're gonna have to. It's gonna be a showdown, and we can't leave these players unmarked the way that we were in this game, and we can't have miscommunication in the back. So I think especially up there. I mean, in the front, I want to see Macario start. And look, I know I get a lot of grief on here with Lindsay Heaps now, formerly Haran, and sticking up for her, but Jaden Shaw, when she's on, and I'm not saying that Heaps is consistent because she's definitely not consistent, but she does I still think she is the best up there in terms of what we have right now. I just think she has that experience to control the game and kind of see what's happening a little bit better than some of these players. And she controls the pace a little bit better.
I 100% agree, and I want to say the same thing. I know that some people in the comments have sort of called, us out for that, but you saw the difference in this match versus the previous matches when Lindsay Heaps does play, right? There's a level of, I'd say, in the midfield, like you said, a little bit more control overall. And yes, she does play errant passes, and yes, she's not as clean as she used to be, right? You've seen
Mhm.
that happen with her game. but it's just a little bit more of a orderly midfield, I'd say, when she's in, and that's
Yeah,
something that
and
yeah.
I think also she's a very aggressive player, and even if it's like drawing fouls like she did last game, I think it gives a little bit more of concern for
Yeah.
other players. She's not an easy player. I mean, even US women's national team players say she's anytime in the drills, they're not looking forward to being paired up with her because she's super physical.
Yep, 100%. All right. So for everyone out there who's been enjoying these videos, let us know your thoughts. Let us know your reaction to the Australia match and looking up forward to the Japan match. Final thoughts, Shauna, before we head into the Japan match in Snapdragon Stadium, which will be for the championship.
I mean, I'm just hoping that Emma Hayes does put out our best squad out there. It was fun to see Emma Sears play today too. We didn't talk about her, but I personally, I want Ali Sentner to start. I want Foxy to start. I want Coffee to start, and I just want to come in and know that we have our best foot forward. And it's going to be interesting to see if we can beat Japan without triple espresso. And I'm just to be honest, I'm really excited. I think this is just it's going to be such a good matchup.
Yep. It'll be a big matchup, a huge matchup for the SheBelieves Cup. We will be there and we will cover after, giving you the reaction for the match. As we say, go USA.